Hi, Dave Smith at the IACP 2009 with Nic Milani of Havis, and you guys won an award this year. Talk about that award for a minute.
Absolutely. So we have a new device here called the IdleRight. It's a fuel management system. Everybody knows right now with fuel costs and the push to go green.
Oh yeah.
We've come out with a system that actually applies that concept to the public safety market. So what it does is, traditionally when a vehicle's on the scene, it has to have its flashers on and it has to have the car running so the battery doesn't get depleted. Well, what this device does is it actually monitors the battery system so you can turn the car off. Once the battery level falls, it automatically starts the car recharging the battery. So we've seen departments get a 90% reduction in fuel consumption. And we think this is something that every department in the U.S. needs to be taking a look at.
So this protects your battery, but at the same time conserves your fuel, all in the same, and you're still getting all the high profile utilization, your radio's still working, your lights are working, everything that you need, and this is something I tell you, in some climates that's critical. You want to be able to have that.
Absolutely. You think about it, at home you have a small generator that powers your entire house. You've got a large engine in your car that's doing generation for things that don't even require that much power. So this helps maximize the system and really reduce that inefficiency.
Oh, that's excellent. Now you had some other good stuff this year. Let's talk about some of your other things that you've come up with that for instance, you have mounting systems,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, Dave. So here's an example of our new mounting system. One of the things you'll notice is that it's a very modular approach. So we use a track mount, a tube, arm. The idea here is two things. One is I want to get the solution in the most ergonomic, comfortable space, right? Think about all the learnings we've had since the 1970s in our traditional office. I sit in a comfortable chair, I have good lighting, the computer's in front of me. I go into the mobile environment, I throw all those learnings right out the window.
Exactly.
Right? It's like we forgot all that stuff we learned.
We forget all the human performance issues, right?
Exactly, exactly. So the idea with this device is when you release the handle, it's got a gas assist shock so it's not going to fall. Now I can position the unit so it best meets the user inside the vehicle. When I lock it down, I'm building a set of high quality aluminum and steel parts that can survive the rigors of being in a vehicle. God forbid you're ever in a crash. And we actually are the only ones in the industry that test every one of our systems to a 25-mile-per-hour barrier crash.
Wow.
So you don't have to take our word for it, we actually certify it.
Right, now that's not only ergonomic, but it's high tensile strength to protect the occupant as well as the equipment.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't want this stuff flying around my vehicle.
Nobody does. It's funny, until I worked for this company, I never realized how dangerous it was to have a laptop sitting in the seat next to me.
Exactly.
But now when you think about it in a collision, that becomes a projectile.
It is.
So it's something that we've really, we've made it a priority. Don't sacrifice safety for comfort, and don't sacrifice comfort for safety. You can make both work.
So we're saving fuel with one design, and we're saving lives and equipment with another.
Absolutely.
That's good, good.
Absolutely.
What else you got this year to show me?
Well, absolutely. Another product I'd like to talk about is we've got a lot of lighting solutions. So one of the things that's very important inside of the industry is emergency scene lighting. Now, if you've ever done a project at home with your Home Depot light, we're talking this thing will light up the world. A couple things that are really important about the technology. When you go to put it out there, if you've got firefighters working at night, blind spots becomes critically important.
Right.
So you don't want them, dropping a tool, not seeing something on the ground, tripping, maybe injuring themselves. That's the first thing. The second thing we do that nobody else does is we make sure that we have a very clean light quality. What that means is that you have the ability to actually perceive the difference between red and blue at night.
Excellent.
So you think about if you're working with a patient and you're trying to get vitals, if you don't have a good color quality, you might not be able to tell that they're turning blue.
Exactly right.
And that's what happens when you work at night.
Right, not only that, if I'm processing a crime scenes, you can't decide or dictate what time of day you're going to have a major crime scene and how transitory evidence can be. And here again, I can process it in any light environment by creating this brilliant and true light that makes things the real color they are, too.
Critically important. People don't realize it and they don't understand that. One of the misperceptions has always been in the lighting industry, bigger, better. The more wattage, the better. We're going to crank up the wattage of the device. And what we found is you actually want to be smarter about it. We actually use very efficient fixtures, and we want to get the right kind of light into the scene, and that's the important part.
Man, that is, I tell you, great.
These types of systems here that we have are designed to survive those rigors. And what's important is with the docking stations, we build, we're doing a couple things that nobody else is really doing. This is one of our older designs, and what we even still have are plastic side shields. What this allows is for the airbag to brush across it. We're making sure that the docking head connector floats, so that way you maintain connectivity over bumpy roads. We want to cycle test, so we actually have an independent laboratory, insert and remove 25,000 times.
Wow.
You're going to actually use it as a docking station, might as well prove it through tests.
Exactly, right? Wow.
So we're trying to really take the level of validation and the rigor of engineering to the next level, and we think that's something that our customers have truly come to value.
Well, it is. That's important. Durability as well as safety. you got this. So in other words, when I spend my dollar, I'm getting the long-term value for that dollar.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the most important things to think about is in the mobile work environment, reliability becomes critical. If I spend the money to buy a really nice rugged laptop and I put it on a mount or a docking station that doesn't provide the same level of reliability, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, and it's funny, you get, especially in a lot of the rural communities, you'll get an officer that's 4 hours from their IT shop. The system goes down. You're
maybe a lot further than that,
right?
Exactly.
So you're losing an officer for a day, and you're putting a couple hundred miles on a car so that they could find out that, you know, oh, the power connector slipped out or something went wrong.
Exactly.
So we're really trying to make sure that we maximize that quality and that reliability.
All right, Nick, so we've seen mounting solutions. We have a lot of, what about a whole approach to everything I need in a console?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, one of the important aspects is the console and integrating the switches, the radios, comfort things like a cup holder, an armrest. Remember, we're not sacrificing comfort.
Right.
We still have to know
Gotta be
where to put the
ergonomic,
comfort, right.
gotta be.
One of the things too we've designed, which is a really nice product, is the new universal laptop mount. One of the keys here is when you chose a rugged laptop and you put it into one of our docking stations, it was tested to a level to support that, right? Well, what we found was that when you went to a universal solution, they weren't designed to the same standards because there was nobody looking out for the consumer's best interests and the end customer. What we've designed here was a truly universal solution. So the solution's designed to, the computer goes in, it latches into place, it's locked, and then when it opens up, releasing the laptop out of the unit. And this device will work with 75% of the laptops on the market today. One of the things that's really interesting is you think about all the real estate agents out there with computers in the passenger seat. We think this type of device is really going to enable them to start to mobilely compute in a safe way.
Safe way. Put it right into your console. Again, the ergonomics are in place. Nothing is left, no detail is left on the board. It's all brought out and produced right here on the road and ready to go.
I certainly think we've thought of it all on this.
That's good. I'll tell you what, you certainly have. But one of the things that comes to mind is now if I want to find out more or work with your people, where do I go?
That's a great question. We really encourage people first stop is to go to Havis.com. Havis.com. And on there, the first thing I would do is really look for the sales rep that works for your area. Please reach out and ask our experts. If you've got a Ford Taurus versus a Ford Expedition versus a Chevy Tahoe, we're going to have a solution that works. We're going to help you configure it. We'll help you figure out how those 5,000 pieces go together to get a solution that works for you.
Great.
So Havis.com is the best place to go.
Well, that's great. I tell you what, Nick, thank you.
Hey, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.